Welcome to Conversations. My name is Suresh Kochatal. The Maldivian President Muizzu has finally come down from his ivory tower. After all the threatening noises that he made as soon as he took power, the Maldivian president has climbed down and ate the proverbial humble pie. How did this climb down happen? It all happened when India's foreign minister, Dr. Jaishankar, was in Maldives for a 3-day visit. Our foreign minister was there to inaugurate a slew of development projects and also sign a number of MOUs with the Maldivian government. These MOUs between India and Maldives will strengthen the ties between these two countries, deepening over defense and security. What is driving India and Maldives to mend their ties? And what forced Maldivian President Muizzu to change his stance after the India Out campaign, with which he won the elections? But moments after External Affairs Minister Jaishankar left Malé, the Maldivian President Muizzu was back at his old tricks. Addressing the media there, he said that he would not change his stance and that not allow anything that goes against the foreign policy of Maldives and his government. Now, why did he change his stance? That must be for the local consumption, in terms of catering to the interest of the Maldivian audience there. He said he was following the same policy of prioritizing Maldives' interest in all. The verbal gymnastics had more to do with playing to please his party and the local population. In fact, while receiving the Indian Foreign Minister Dr. Jaishankar when he was in Maldives, President Muizzu said it was all a pleasure for him to meet the Foreign Minister of India and join him in the official handover of the water and the sanitation projects that were taken up by India in 28 islands of Maldives. President Muizzu also thanked the Government of India and specifically the Prime Minister, Shri Narendra Modi, for always standing up and supporting Maldives. President Muizzu's climb down is strange, but one can understand his predicament. He also acknowledged the enduring partnership between Maldives and India and said it would continue to strengthen, bringing both the nations closer through cooperation in security, development, and cultural exchange. Together, President Muizzu and Dr. Jaishankar said that the two nations would build a brighter and more prosperous future for the region. This was not there before, but imagine how fast things are changing. While inaugurating the Adu Reclamation and Shore Protection and Adu Detour Link Bridge, Dr. Jaishankar was joined by a number of Maldivian ministers, including the Foreign Minister Musa Zamir, Construction and Infrastructure Minister Abdullah Muttalib, Climate Change, Environment and Energy Minister Tariq Ibrahim, and of course, the Mayor of Adu city, Ali Nisar. Dr. Jaishankar said that India-Maldives friendship projects that he was inaugurating on that day would help develop Adu as a regional tourism hub in Maldives and boost employment for the local population. It would also encourage entrepreneurship and trade between the two nations. Dr. Jaishankar also met Mr. Abdullah Shahid, president of the Maldivian Democratic Party, which is the opposition party there, and his colleagues. He said that he valued their support for strengthening the India-Maldives relations. Definitely, there is a lot to be done because the breakdown happened about a few months ago when Maldives went ballistic, especially the politicians there, including President Muizzu, went ballistic and embraced China. Dr. Jaishankar, along with the Maldivian Foreign Minister Musa Zamir and Construction Infrastructure Minister Abdullah Muttalib, did a site visit to the Greater Malay Collectivity Project. This flagship project will enhance connectivity and stimulate the economy of Maldives. Dr. Jaishankar also had a meeting with the Economic Development and Trade Minister Mohammad Saeed, Minister of Finance of Maldives Mohammad Shafiq, and Ahmad Munawar, Governor of Maldives Monetary Authority. These ministers and Dr. Jaishankar exchanged views on enhancing the economic and trade partnership, as well as the development cooperation between India and Maldives. These latest moves by India is aimed to checkmate China's move to get Maldives into their grip. All deals that have been signed during this visit will be financed by India. The water and sanitation project, for example, that will serve the residents of 28 islands was inaugurated during this visit and has been made possible under an Exim Bank loan. President Muizzu was replying to a question later in the day, as we saw, whether his government would actually now have an India out policy thrown out of the window. But he was very ambivalent about it, because this campaign, which was launched by the ruling PNC and PPM coalition last year to grab power, was using India as a bait. In fact, during Dr. Jaishankar's visit, President Muizzu and his ministers were bending backwards, trying to please Dr. Jaishankar, as if there was no friction between the two nations. But there was friction, because when Muizzu was sworn in last November, behind the perceptible change was the fact that Maldives is in dire economic crisis. And China, which was said to be the closest friend so far, said it cannot bail out Malé without a quid pro quo, which means give us a few islands and we will give you the money. But President Muizzu knows what happens if he does that. The fact is that Maldives is facing a budgetary gap running into a couple of $100 million US. And with India is already rolling over a payment of something like $50 million to State Bank of India in May, and another $50 million is due in September. Big money, remember this. Maldives also has to pay some $1 billion to the market from where it had borrowed. And that is by 2026. And for sure, Maldives faces a default, just like Pakistan. Meanwhile, the Modi government is committed to helping out Maldives as a neighbor. The Maldivian-Indian friendship that has been now revived is also a message to the strife-torn Bangladesh, as only India has come forward to help countries in this region when they were in dire economic crisis. Sri Lanka, for example. China did not turn up, nor did the US or anybody in the West. This is despite Maldivian President Muizzu trying his best to get financial support from Turkey, China, Middle East, and even the other nations, which normally gives loans to their Exim banks at market rates. All of them refused. So President Muizzu's decision to forge a bilateral cooperation for India comes from his own assessment of the past year after assuming power, and the realization that only India can deliver on development, security, and financial trust. Despite the 28 island project and the Greater Malay Connectivity Project being launched by India, before Muizzu assumed power, these development projects have not stalled and they are on the verge of fruition. They'll be completed soon. And in the interest of Maldives and not any other political party, the Indian government will continue to support these projects. In the past year, President Muizzu also has realized the security requirements of Maldives, with drug runners, pirates, and arms smugglers having a field day. He knows that operating in the deep Indian Ocean requires a strong navy, and Maldives does not have that. That's where he needs Indian security support. And Maldives actually is now exposed to dark forces. That is why President Muizzu has asked for help from India. And as I told you before, like Sri Lanka, Maldives also faces a financial stress. And India is willing to help out with any leverage, as it has shown over rolling over the payments to State Bank of India. The statement of President Muizzu is also welcome. And that means there is a reality that has dawned on Maldives, and the rise of Islamists in Malé is not in the interest of the new government. This is exactly what is happening in Bangladesh. And Bangladesh will also wake up and smell the coffee after some time. The fact is that Foreign Minister Jaishankar was given a red carpet treatment more than the previous Ibrahim Solih regime. The neighboring countries are getting the message that Modi's India means business. As with Sri Lanka, the Maldivian engagement is a straight message for Dhaka, as Bangladesh is also going to face a huge payment crisis in the years to come, and it will face the situation which Pakistan is facing now. So, India is there at the doorstep of all these nations to help out. And like Maldives, we will help out everybody who needs our help. But they need to listen to Narendra Modi. That's the most important thing. They need to listen to India. Thank you for watching. Jai Hind.